Hi, welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about Starstruck by Aimee Ogden. Starstruck is a fantasy novella. It's put out by Psychopomp, a small press dealing primarily in matters of death. We've talked about a number of Psychopomp novellas previously here on Bar Cart Bookshelf, including a true favorite of mine, Lovely Creatures by K.T. Brisky, and the wonderful A Voice Calling by Christopher Barzak, From These Dark Abodes by Lindsay Manousos, and now Starstruck, which is just a delight. You know, I'm not a reader who generally goes in for a sense of coziness in what I read. You know, I like a sharp edge, I like a jag or a barb. And there are these jags and barbs in Starstruck, but it's just like a sweet and thoughtful meditation on dissatisfaction, on change in the lives we live together and the relationships that we have with our partners and with the world around us. It's the story of Prish, a sentient radish, and her wife, Alsing, a sentient fox. They're both starstruck, these sorts of magical creatures who have had stars fall from the sky and ensoul them. And so they become these sorts of animal or plant hybrids with sort of humanoid qualities as well. And Prish and Alsing live in a cabin in the woods. And at a certain point, Alsing realizes that it's gone 18 months without any new Starstruck coming. You know, they're at a place where a lot of these Starstruck have come into being, and so have spent some of their time helping to welcome them into this new world of sentience. And so they decide to set out on a journey, and we immediately have this wonderful tension between the sort of more nimble and animalic and outgoing Alsing, since she's a fox, versus the rooted, solid, I honestly would really prefer to stay in my place with my garden, with the things that I know, Prish. And they set out on this bike journey to sort of just shake things up, see something new. And along the way, they meet a starstruck piece of granite, Otra, the sort of first of this kind that they've encountered and never seen a rock become ensouled in the way that like plants and animals have been, and a young human boy named Wick, who sort of follow them along on this journey. If you enjoyed the sort of bike packing aspects of Becky Chambers' Monk and Robot books, you know, really my favorite parts of those books. As a cyclist, we're riding bikes here and carrying all of our things along on our bikes. Or if you like the video game Spiritfarer, which is just, you know, absolutely delightful as well, I think you'll see some similarities and thoughtfulness in this as well. And so we see this sort of journey as we arrive in understanding. We find out a bit more about why Wick, this like small human boy, little human boy, is all on his own, which is not, you know, the natural state of affairs for little human boys, and journey into this sort of discomfort of being dislocated or needing to try something new, and what that means for, you know, some of the Starstruck more generally, but retaining our focus on this family, this couple, and the sort of children who have been unwillingly, perhaps, adopted into their little family. It's a very sweet book. It's melancholy. It's like autumn sunshine, and so I think really appropriate for us here as summer starts to bleed into autumn. And of course, we had to have a drink. Our drink today is the Craftwood Fizz, named for the place where Prish and Alshing have their cabin. And we're going to start with 1.25 ounces of apple brandy. As I said, we're heading into fall here, so we'll get that first 1/2 ounce and then 3/4 to make 1.25. Perfect. Lovely. Get that aside. Apple brandy, really great for the fall. As you can see, I'm just finishing up a bottle from last year. Really excited to be making some more apple brandy cocktails with all of y'all in the months ahead. And to bring a bit of brightness to our fizz, we're going to get 3/4 ounce of lime juice. Lovely. And then 1/2 ounce each of rhubarb shrub. So rhubarb shrub, a fruit syrup made with rhubarb and sugar and vinegar. It's bright, it's earthy, it's sort of tangy and bittersweet, and we'll get that down in there. And then a bit of raspberry liqueur, 1/2 ounce to be precise. Lovely. That fruitiness, but we remember also the brambles that we had to, reach through to get our raspberries. Lovely. We'll get that down in there. And then finally, it wouldn't be a fizz without that elevating effect of an egg white. So we'll get 1 egg white down into our cocktail. If you don't really want to use egg white, use a bar spoon of whole milk powder, and that will help to provide the same effect, though ultimately a less structured foam. But since we've got falling stars, we've got this elevation, we've got this sort of intersection of growing things in the garden and things coming from the heavens up above, it really feels like we want that length, that effervescence, that brightness. We're going to shake this on up. Do a dry shake to start, just to help foam and froth our egg white in there. Get it nice, frosty, freezy in a moment, but for now, nice, frothy, foamy. And give that for a couple of seconds, just to shake things up. Perfect. And you can see, how we're starting to have a bit of foam down in there. We'll get our ice. As always, we add our ice last because that's what cooks our cocktail. Perfect. Get this. And now we'll shake it on up. And while I'm doing that, I'll move my glass in. Give this a nice solid shake. Perfect. Nice stout tap. Lovely. And then we will strain. And we always want to double strain when we use egg whites, just in case there's some bit of something that a protein strand has formed or anything like that. Just want to be extra careful that we keep things nice and silky smooth. Lovely. And as you can see, we've still got some space in our glass here. It wouldn't be a fizz without some effervescence, so we're going to top that with a bit of soda water. Perfect. There you go. And there you have it. This is the Craftwood Fizz inspired by STARSTRUCK by Aimee Ogden. STARSTRUCK is available now. I've got a link to snag it in the description down below, as well as a link to purchase my book, Cocktails and Consoles, 75 Cocktails and Mocktails to Level Up Your Game Night. Got drinks inspired by video games, going back to classics like Pac-Man and Tetris on up to modern favorites like Hades and the latest Assassin's Creed. games that deal, in depth in various ways as well. Hit that like button down below. Makes me so happy when you do. Subscribe if you haven't already so you never miss an episode. This is just the first of the books that we will be talking about this fall that involve foxes, so keep your eyes peeled for those coming up already. Try the drink, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and until next time, cheers.